everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Esquire's Man at His Best podcast. This is our weekly look at some of the biggest things that have happened this week in the world of men's lifestyle, including updates from our very own website and our very own magazine. Now, I'm Tom, I am the digital director of Esquire Middle East, and as per usual, I'm joined by a very special guest. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, my special guest met up with a ragtag team of would-be heroes attempting to thwart the evil plans of the Galactic Empire. Along with two droids, he left the world of Tatooine on board the Millennial Falcon, narrowly avoiding almost certain death at the hands of the evil Darth Vader. Upon delivering plans to the Death Star to the Resistance, he then assisted in a successful attack on the Planet Killer and effectively saved the galaxy. However, upon returning back to base, he was then shunned by the entire Resistance, while his two colleagues, Luke and Han, were presented with medals of honor, but his actions in the final battle were glossed over. With one last final roar of anger during the celebrations, he left the Resistance, vowing never to return home, or to his planet Kashyyyk ever again. Instead, he settled on Earth, and after a quick visit to the barbers, landed a job as editor-in-chief of Esquire Middle East. How are you doing, Matthew?
I'm alright. It just goes to prove that beauty is skin deep, right? Soon as I shave, cut off my hair, learn English, come to Earth, that's when the big jobs come in.
You just think beauty is skin deep?
Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah. What did you say?
I said you were Chewbacca.
Okay. No, I got that. Well, I am. So, but it's a pleasure to be here again. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning back in. Another edition of the Man at His Best podcast.
Yes. And of course, we've kind of embraced the shorter is better formula.
Well, not with that intro. That was lengthy intro.
A bit out of breath.
At least we didn't go into the 3 prequels.
We're going to do at least 5 more of these, right? So let's get the party started. So I've got some watch news.
I like watch news. Our listeners like watch news. We get a lot of watch feedback. So, what is your watch news?
So, Montblanc has sought to end the everlasting debate between watch geeks and regular geeks.
Okay, fine. Geek wars.
So, if you remember back in 2015, Montblanc released a smart wrist strap.
I do remember that.
It was just a concept, but essentially it kind of featured a watch up here, in the regular position of a watch, and kind of on the strap, kind of midway at the maybe 5 o'clock position.
On your wrist?
Yeah, on the wrist was like this little kind of rectangular puck.
Yes.
And that had a little screen. And again, this was just a concept. Like I didn't see a single working prototype.
I wore a working prototype, or I wore a prototype of the thing. I don't know if it was working.
Yeah,
this was several years ago.
I think same. But again, and what that kind of aimed to do was to provide smart capabilities to the strap, not the watch.
Yes.
So
the strap, not the watch. Correct.
The best of both worlds. So kind of this was done in 2015 when all of the watch world was kind of battening down the hatches. It wasn't a very good year, and then obviously we had kind of Apple looming down on the Swiss watch industry with its new Apple Watch. Again, I talked to a lot of CEOs, and the big question for all the shows was, is the Apple Watch going to kill the world of horology? Now, ultimately, it kind of didn't. However, between then and now, Montblanc has released a full-on smartwatch. Tag Heuer has released 2 full-on smartwatches. LV has released a smartwatch. Hublot has obviously released its referee watch, which...
That sweet referee watch. It's enormous. It's like 48 millimeters.
For the World Cup. But then again, do you think smartwatches have eaten away at the proper watch market?
I think one of the most important stats when you look at that is the fact that Apple are the largest producer of watches in the world.
Mm.
So...
Yes. Well, see, but I think up to a certain market. I think that if someone's going out to buy an Omega or a Rolex or a Patek, they're not going to be going, oh, actually, instead of that, I'm going to go buy an Apple Watch.
No, fair. I will almost guarantee that they have an Apple Watch as well.
Yeah.
Because watch people who are going out and buying multiple watches like myself and you will also want a smartwatch as you're currently wearing.
I'm wearing a smartwatch.
And you have an Apple Watch as well.
And I have an Apple Watch, but I also have many other nice watches.
Sure, you have several nice watches, and you have at least 2, maybe even 3 smartwatches. So the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think it's hindered watches as in terms of there will be no more watches, the industry is dead. But I do think it has made a seismic shift in the watch industry where more people may be wearing watches, But maybe people will be buying an Apple Watch, whereas they may have been buying, I don't know, an Omega before that, or a Tag Heuer. It doesn't mean that they won't continue to buy something once they get used to a watch on their wrist, once they start appreciating how you can kind of match it with your outfits and the aspects that I have on it. But the launch of the whole smartwatch concept has had a massive, a seismic impact on the watch industry, in my opinion.
Yeah, but so what I think kind of, it didn't, I wouldn't say that the smartwatch industry has eaten the traditional watch industry. However, I do think that now you have kind of two camps. We have three camps. You have kind of the watch geeks who will only wear a mechanical watch on their wrist. They do so because they love them and they do so for aesthetic reasons. Yeah, sure. Then you have kind of your gadget geeks, so your kind of fitness geeks who generally enjoy connected watches because of the additional functionality they provide.
The Uber health updates.
And then you have kind of people in the middle. So I'd class someone like me. I have a smartwatch, but I also have lots of nice watches. I would love to have the functionalities that this provides, like heart rate tracking, fitness, the ability to pay with my watch, but also be able to wear a classic timepiece. However, I'm not going to be one of those dudes that wears two watches.
I was going to say, wear two watches.
I'm not going to be one of those guys.
We know a couple of people who wear two watches.
I know a few people who wear two watches, and you know what? It just is not a good look. It's not a good look.
I think it's a look if you can pull it off. Like, it's weird, and you probably have to explain it to a lot of people. But, you have to wear, you have to wear nice watches to wear two watches. It's not like you can be wearing, like, a Swatch and an Apple Watch. It doesn't really, that doesn't really tell me anything about who you are.
Well, now Montblanc has.
I mean, you can wear a Swatch and Apple Watch. Do what you want, as far as I'm concerned. But in theory, sorry, carry on.
Now you can wear a Swatch and kind of an Apple Watch.
Right. So tell me more about the Montblanc.
So Montblanc has updated its E-strap concept because it too, like me, has noticed this third camp.
There's a third camp.
Again, the third camp is people who don't want to wear two watches but want to wear two watches.
Sure, like a Venn diagram, the middle bit.
The middle bit. So they have updated their E-strap concept, and it's now called the Twin Smart Strap.
Names, good
names.
Names.
It's essentially the same. It's the same as the concept, but obviously now this one's ready for market. So according to the press release, the Twin allows classic timepiece lovers to enhance their watch with digital features, including notifications, step tracking, and a new Montblanc payment solution.
Okay, so the new Montblanc payment solution is new, but the rest of it is just what you'd find in anything else.
Yeah, however, and these are the key words that are coming up in the press release, the Twin will transform any mechanical timepiece into a connected companion.
Fair enough.
Which is actually great. So essentially,
you can keep your mechanical watch, and you have all the benefits of a smartwatch because it's all done by the strap.
Yeah. So essentially, it actually
is it waterproof?
Yeah, it is. It looks and works better, not like to 200 meters.
Yeah,
like
but
you're wearing it on a deep sea diving watch.
Yeah, but if you're frolicking around on the shores of Lake Como,
if you're one that frolics, yes. You just wear your Apple Watch. So this thing, it's actually better than the E-strap concept in the fact that the actual screen it's part of the buckle.
Okay, great.
So it sits over the buckle.
Yeah.
So you kind of have one screen on one side of your wrist and then the smart screen on the bottom side of your wrist.
Yeah.
It's about the size of an old eraser or one of those 2-volt batteries.
Yeah.
But it's a lot thinner. It's 6 millimeters thin.
Yeah.
And it's curved. It's got it's curved glass.
I remember trying the original one that they had, and I just remember being big and chunky. Look, I'm interested in seeing this and how it works. It's a nice idea. I like it a lot. But it is that extra added thing, and things get clunky on your wrist anyway. I suppose you always get used to a watch that you're wearing. So once you get used to it, I'm sure it'll go forward.
I don't think putting your hand down would be. It would be similar if you decided to wear your watch kind of inwards on your wrist.
Yeah,
that's sort of a similar size. However, this is rectangular. So it's 50 millimeters by 25 millimeters and 6 millimeters thin. And it's curved.
Oh no! Look, I'm in.
Anyway, so the glass is made of curved, scratch-resistant glass. The screen is an OLED affair, so the same stuff that powers the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X, depending on how you want to say it. It connects to your phone via Bluetooth. Android and iOS, it'll work with both. However, only with the iOS version will it allow you to use Montblanc's brand new NFC payment system.
So what is that? Do you know what that involves and entails? Is that you can only buy Montblanc stuff with it?
It's an app that you install on your phone that you can put up to 5 Visa or MasterCards in it. And essentially, if you go to buy a coffee, instead of pulling your card out or paying with cash, you can just wave your wrist over the sensor.
So, but it's not ubiquitous to Montblanc products.
No.
Okay.
It's just they have. I don't know why. They probably could have partnered up with iOS, but
Best to have it in house, right?
anyway, the strap is made of rubber or black calf leather or vintage brown calf leather or black nylon or gray striped nylon.
Cool. So you got options, is what you're saying.
And it costs 1,659 dirhams, which is just under 400 euros when it arrives in August.
Why did you give it to me in euros?
Well, or euros.
I know, but I don't deal in euros.
But our listeners in Europe.
Hola. Listeners in Europe. It's a European name. Good. But yeah, okay, fair enough. In euros if you want it.
I think it's good. I think it's interesting. I kind of think this is one of those devices. In tech, there's a whole thing where you can be first to market, you can be best, or you can just have a lot more built-in users. Facebook is a good example of this. If a little app comes out with something, then Facebook just outright copies it because it's quite hard to protect like an IP of a smartwatch strap. Like that's already been done. So I kind of think that while this is an interesting product, I think that someone like Google could copy this tomorrow, have it out to market in 2 months, and it would be far cheaper. And because, look, nothing against Montblanc's tech guys, but I kind of think that Google's tech guys would be a little bit more used to this sort of wearable thing.
Fair enough. And the fact that you're saying that like Facebook and Google would allegedly copy products directly.
I'm pretty sure I think that's
sure. I mean, let's keep the lawyers out of it, Tom, before.
I think that this is such a good idea, and it's got such a built-in market that I reckon you're going to immediately see Kickstarter projects that will be popping up.
Yeah, this is a very fair point.
Powered by Android Wear, and I think that within the next 18 months, I reckon this will be a product that anyone will be able to pick up.
Anyone will be able to pick up.
Far cheaper. However, of course, with Montblanc, you get all their nice leathery stuff, which wouldn't be far off that price if you just bought some new straps.
No, but their leathery stuff is awesome, generally. Cool. You done with that press release?
That's done.
Right, good. Jeez. I've got one for you. It's World Cup time, Tom, still.
I know.
I smashed that pen down really loudly. Sorry there, producer Charlie. It's World Cup time, Tom.
It is World Cup.
We are amidst the first round. We finished the first round. We're in the second second round of games. But I have some fun financial news for you. Ooh.
Financial news?
Well, it's interesting because there are very few things that can tarnish a World Cup, Tom. Hope.
Corruption. Rampant corruption.
Rampant corruption. Those grueling late nights in the middle of the week and you have to wake up for work and you're not feeling at your best. And also the knowledge that FIFA will be utterly raking in the money over the next month.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money, Tom?
I'm going to go with, in what currency?
Let's go dollars.
In dollars, I'm going to guess $12 billion.
No, I mean, that's a ludicrous
I'm
amount
going to guess $3 billion.
I mean, that's still a ludicrous, but I mean, it's much more in the ballpark. 12 billion in a month. Jeez.
Well, this is pre and all.
Well, basically, after renewing some financial documents, the New York Times have released an article saying that they reckon FIFA will earn $6.1 billion in this World Cup.
Well, you said 3 was ridiculous and 12 was ridiculous, and the answer was 6.
Exactly. It's a ridiculous amount of money that they're making.
Oh.
But, look, all right, let me put you in a bit of comparison here. For the last World Cup in 2014 in Rio, they made an estimated 1.3 billion. So if the New York Times, the numbers they're reporting are correct, it's saying there's 6.1. So this is, I'm not very good at maths, but it's like a 5-fold.
How many
increase.
billions did Russia pay FIFA for this tournament? Is that going in?
Well, allegedly, Tom. Allegedly.
Is that going in?
Let's again.
So how do they make this money?
Well, it's interesting actually. So basically, FIFA have not had the best of times in the last 4 years, as we're aware. Vast corruption scandals, completely eliminating the top of their order. Most of the senior management, now with a new president, Gianni Infantino, replacing Sepp Blatter. But you would imagine things wouldn't be going too well. There is always China, Tom.
Fair.
So basically, what they've turned to, and then the New York Times are citing this as a reason for the reverse of the fortunes, is that by fleeing Western sponsors, they've basically replaced them with Chinese company sponsors.
Okay.
Not purely, but basically 7 out of the 20 major World Cup sponsors are Chinese companies. So how do you think about that? So that's where the money's coming. It's new markets. It's newer companies that you're not that we're not kind of accustomed to seeing in previous World Cups.
Like what?
But revenue are going up.
Who are the main sponsors?
Oh, I don't know. You've got the internet right, do you?
Main sponsors, FIFA World Cup. Because we're looking for a sponsor for this here podcast, so maybe we should be looking to China.
I hear that. Well, basically, so let me read you directly from this. It says, China's President Xi Jinping has spearheaded the country's involvement in football, making major investments in their sports sector in a bid to improve the fortunes of their national team. They've only competed in one World Cup, if you remember, China. It was 2002, where they basically finished rock bottom. I mean, if you can. They eliminated the group stage, didn't cover themselves in glory. But is this idea of the president of China has started a football drive years ago, which is now seeing big companies getting involved to grow the game there. Actually, that's one of the sponsors I always think. You've been watching have you been watching a lot of the games? And one of the main billboards that you see, it looks, every time I look at it, I always think it says Wakanda.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It says Wanda.
Well, yeah. So I'm looking at the FIFA partners. So like your top tier guys are Adidas, Coca-Cola.
Yep.
And Gazprom.
Gazprom.
Because when I choose my gas...
When I want to fuel my economy and my country, I choose my gas from Gazprom.
And then next up, we have Wanda.
Other gas providers are available.
Wanda Group.
Wanda Group.
So that's what you see that's Wakanda. Then we have Hyundai and Kia.
Yep.
And then we have Visa.
Yeah.
And then we have, if you go to like the next tier, you got Mucky D's.
There they are. Love their football.
You've got a beverage company. Then you have Hisense, which is a Chinese company that makes tech.
Correct.
And then you have Mengniu. I'm going to go with
Mengniu.
Mengniu,
also a Chinese company.
That could be a Chinese sort of Deliveroo. Mengniu. It's probably not. And then Vivo.com, which I believe is also a Chinese company.
So what you're telling me there in that and the official FIFA page is that we're looking at 5 of the main sponsors, 5 or 6 of the main sponsors. But you got to remember, that's fine, but this is not a World Cup in China.
No, there we go. So Wanda, 3 key business activities: commercial properties, culture, and finance.
This is when I think watching football on my sofa with a few beverages and maybe a pizza. I'm thinking financial key turning solutions.
And fortunately, Mengniu, Google will not translate its page, but I can see a small cow.
Yeah.
And I can see glasses. Yeah. So I'm thinking it involves milk.
I like that. Did you? It was like when it was like in the 80s when the FA Cup in the UK was known as the Milk Cup. The sponsor of it was just milk.
What? Just milk? The concept.
The concept of milk. So as the people would win the Milk Cup. It was a glorious moment. My team actually won it.
I've got no idea what Mengniu does.
No. Well, let's not deep dive too much into the dark Chinese web. Or the Chinese dark web.
So essentially, Mengniu Dairy.
Mengniu Dairy!
Yeah, correct.
Hey.
Oh, they were involved in the 2008 Chinese milk scandal.
The infamous 2008 Chinese milk scandal.
So maybe, well, there we go. Let's improve what the world thinks of us by sponsoring the World Cup.
You see?
And I don't think many players would have gotten where they are today without drinking a nice hearty glass of Mengniu milk.
Or a Big Mac or 2 or 10 or, because all sponsors are worthy sponsors. Apparently.
So what we're trying to say is this podcast can do it just as well.
See, did you hear that sweet commercial sting? Delicious. Have a glass of
Mengniu.
It's a delicious milk in glasses. Right.
Xie.
Sorry again, producer Charlie.
All right. Well, any more bombshells?
No, not from the World Cup.
World Cup makes lots of money.
No, but seriously, 5 times more than the previous one? When they've just gone through a massive bribery scandal? Come on.
China money.
I tell you, man. I tell you.
China money.
All right. What do you got? What do you got next for me?
So this this week has been one of the biggest weeks in the world in terms of entertainment.
No, just one of the biggest weeks in the world.
And I'm not talking about sports entertainment. I'm not talking about...
Wrestling?
I'm talking about wrestling entertainment. I'm not talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about the largest form of entertainment on the planet, which is video games.
You very often do talk about video games.
So right now is the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which takes place in LA each year.
Mm-hmm.
In a past life, I actually used to go there quite often.
Also known as E3, am I correct?
Yes, it's the biggest gaming show, and each year you have the likes of Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo and Activision and Blizzard. They all take these big... It takes over the entire LA Convention Center.
Which is a pretty big one.
It's pretty big, and it's just kind of... everyone just launches new games.
Would you say it was the annual World Cup of video games?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Mengnu.
Mengnu Milk.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, there's lots and lots and lots of games that are announced, and kind of that's where all the excitement happens.
Cool. So what have they released? What should I be getting excited about?
Well, they've released nothing, but here are a few. Not yet. They'll release it soon. This is about the teasing. This is about the getting everyone excited.
What is getting you excited?
The Cannes Film Festival, where they show you stuff and you're like, that looks interesting, and when it comes out a month later, you watch it.
Yeah. No, I know how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But what? So answer the question.
Right.
What has got you excited?
Number 1, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I did like Super Smash Brothers.
Yep.
That's pulling on the old nostalgia strings.
Well, the whole thing is it's called Ultimate because this is the ultimate Super Smash Brothers.
Okay. So what makes it ultimate?
You can play with every character.
Oh, dope.
So I don't know. The last time I played this was on the N64.
So what platform will it be on this time?
The Nintendo Switch.
Gotcha.
Which is the pad.
Yeah. Which you can split in two.
No.
Which you can't split in two.
No. It has controllers that you can put on either side.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Tell me more about Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
It's basically the same thing as Super Smash Brothers, but with more characters.
Cool.
And you can play with the original GameCube controllers, which are very similar to the N64 controllers. So if nostalgia is your thing, it's very good. Also, Nintendo always do this thing, even though it's basically a load of characters fighting to knock each other off a cliff.
Yeah.
Nintendo does it in like a whimsical, happy way.
Yeah, they really do.
It's like a child-friendly game of death and destruction.
No blood.
No blood.
And it's almost joyous to play and funny.
Pikachu versus Solid Snake.
I mean,
you can do all sorts of different stuff.
I mean, so when can we expect that one to drop?
That is dropping, I think, later this year. It doesn't say.
Okay.
TBA.
Fair enough. And what else is on that list?
Right, from that...
What is someone like, I don't know, Sony? What are PlayStation releasing?
PlayStation, 2 big ones. We got The Last of Us 2. So The Last of Us 1 was a game that won all sorts of awards. It was kind of like... it would have won the Best Picture. In fact, there probably is a Best Picture sort of awards based in video games. This definitely won it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Greatest PlayStation game of all time. There we go.
The greatest PlayStation game of all time award.
Anyway, it is. It's a story-driven thing. It's about zombies, but like I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's very story-driven.
Sure.
A lot of people in it. If you YouTube it, you can see a lot of video game guys playing it and crying.
Wow. Crying through fear or just sheer joy?
Through, I think, sadness.
Fair enough. Does the second one come? Is this as a sequel? Is it Last of Us 2 European Vacation?
No, this kind of follows off directly from the other one.
Okay.
And it has things like, it really touches upon like adult concepts of like loneliness and family and
defaulting payments.
It's not
on
just
mortgage,
like there's a load of
that kind
zombies, we got to kill them.
Yeah, sure.
But
higher interest rates when transferring money.
You do kill a lot of zombies.
Fair. What else have they got?
They've PlayStation as well. They're teasing a lot of their new Spider-Man game.
Cool.
Which is basically a mixture of the Batman Arkham games. This is the same studio that made them, which are really good, and a version of Grand Theft Auto. So it's just like Grand Theft Spider-Man.
Kind of open world.
Entire city, swing around in.
Fair enough.
PS4,
does anyone actually ever play the Spider-Man games for like the storyline? Or do you just like swing around? Because that's all I used to do.
Yeah, no.
Just swing around.
That's the fun bit.
Yeah.
PS4's craziest edition is a game called Death Stranding. Not Standing.
Okay.
Death Stranding.
Are you sure that's been Google translated correctly?
Correct. And it's done by Hideo Kojima, who did Metal Gear.
I know Hideo Kojima.
And is kind of an all-round crazy person if you ever interview him.
Mm.
And it stars Norman Reedus, who you may recognize
Norman Reedus
from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's worth just Googling the trailer because the trailer is just insane. It doesn't. All the press who've covered this still don't know what it is, what it's about, what's going on. The trailer has like a naked Norman Reedus holding a baby underwater. Look, it's just kind of out there.
So why should I buy it? Just because it's Hideo Kojima.
I guess the world world's quite a predictable place, and this game will probably not make any sense, but be glorious in the way that it does,
including the way it's spelt. Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm. For Halo, for Microsoft, we've got Halo, new Halo game.
So that's on the Xbox One.
That's all you kind of really need to know.
Fine. New Halo. Do you remember when they stopped Halo and they were like, "This is the last Halo"?
Well, it was.
And I think since then they've released 3.
It was the studio that's the original studio that stopped doing it, and then it moved over, and then they decided to do like Halo games without Master Chief, and like there were some other guys, and then there were some other guys, Master Chef, better. But now they've wisely decided that let's just put the main character back in the game.
Fine.
So they've decided to do that.
So Master Chief's back.
Master Chief's back. What is old is new again. It's like fashion.
It's like flogging a dead horse to me, but I like Halo, so I can't go wrong with it. But it does remind me of when, I don't know, for Brits out there, like when they were like, when the television stations were like, we are stopping Big Brother. This is the last ever season 36 or whatever it was. And then they ended it. And then they sold the rights to another TV channel like the next year. And then Big Brother was just on again.
Yeah, Big Brother at the beach.
Yeah, it was just on another channel. And yeah, now Love Island, which is like, I don't know. I don't know. Lots of people telling people that they're for real. Well, I don't really understand. And
no, I've not seen it, but from what I understand, that would be it.
Yeah, the thing I don't get about that is that people just tell each other like who they are rather than just being who they are. Yeah, but I'm all about this. And it's like I don't think so, mate. I don't watch it. I can't.
Anyway,
if you want to
what is Love Island?
No, but if you just want to send me your hate because you love Love Island, then just leave a message in the comments below, because very passionate viewership of that show who watch it while just on Instagram not watching the show.
I think it's like when you know you're doing something wrong and then someone calls you out on it and then you just have to be defensive. So you're just like, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's like that. I think people who watch Love Island know that what they're doing is just setting the human race back.
Fair.
And then when someone calls them out, they can't accept that because that would be them admitting that they're actively taking the average intelligence rate worldwide and pulling them down. Yeah. And so they have to then shoot out. It's a sign of insecurity.
Fair enough. Is it the ultimate 2-screen TV show though? As in, like, you're watching it, air quotes, but then you're literally just WhatsApping a mate, or you're Instagramming, or you're.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, fair.
And in February I will not be seeing it because the last game, the one that broke E3,
broke the Geekernet.
All the lines at E3 were full. People wanted to see what this game was. It's called Anthem, and it is by Electronic Arts.
Oh, okay. So the guys who do
lots and lots of games. And essentially, if you play games, it's their version of Destiny. However, not Destiny, the concept, Destiny video game. And essentially, what they do is, it's a bit like you've seen Avatar.
I have
Blue
seen
Aliens,
Avatar.
right? It's like if you were in the world of Avatar, except instead of being a tall, gangly blue alien, you were Iron Man.
Master Chief?
No, Iron Man. Tony Stark.
Yeah, no, well, but know.
No, because Master Chief can't fly, but Iron Man can. So essentially, you're in this alien world. You don't know much about it. However, you are in some cool-ass suit. Right. You get to fly around and blow stuff up. And again, it's open world. It's Grand Theft Auto meets Pandora meets Iron Man.
Meets Avatar.
And
the world is just losing their shush about it.
Yeah, so that comes out on the 22nd of February, 2019.
Okay. Have you got your pre-order in?
No, because this is a week after Valentine's Day. So you could, where you go,
Yeah.
everyone,
Yeah.
just ask for it.
Yeah.
And then you have
do you-
Valentine's Day, and then you wouldn't need to see your significant other because
Yeah.
you'd be too busy playing Anthem
Wait,
the week
do
after.
you get Valentine's Day presents?
I don't get that. That's wishful thinking on my behalf.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever received one.
No.
Except like a scowl for getting. I think I received one of those in my time. But I've probably done something wrong, so.
I get a card, and then in return I'll forget to buy a card.
The card is more important. If you like bought like your significant other like a lovely watch, you know, costs you like $8,000, then and you forgot the card,
It's not worth
it's not worth it.
No.
You get in trouble. But always remember the card. But if someone gave me a card, I'd be like, oh, thanks. Just put, you know, I'll read the lovely message. Be lovely, heartfelt, but I might just put it aside.
You need
and
to
then I
invest-
can't wear the card on my wrist, can I?
You need to invest money into Hallmark. And
Yeah.
then when someone bought you a card, you would go, yeah, I made some money on this.
Fair.
This is maybe a good idea for all men.
Yeah. So when you activate your Hallmark stock options ASAP. Video games.
Yep, we just talked about them.
I have a little video game story for you.
Oh, okay.
Dip it into that sweet, nostalgic honey pot.
Yep.
Donkey Kong. Tom, you remember the original Donkey Kong in the arcade games?
I do remember it. I don't remember playing it.
Do you remember it? Well, I suppose it'd be if you considered yourself in the pool of fans of women abducting monkeys who solve their problems by launching barrels.
Wrong way around.
Women abducting
Oh,
monkeys?
women abducting monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought...
Monkey abducting women?
Yeah,
No, that's just PETA.
yes.
Yeah. Fair. And
Women-
other animal
Or women...
liberation groups.
Women, abducting monkeys is different.
Yeah, no. No, it's monkeys that like to kidnap women by throwing barrels at people to solve their problems.
Yeah.
Everyone can relate. Everyone can relate. Anyway, they originally released in 1981. They've just released Donkey Kong OG for the first time outside of an arcade. So it's the original arcade game that was only ever allowed fully done. So only fully done in the arcade.
Yeah.
And now you can play it on your, I believe, your Nintendo Switch.
I can play it. So is it, so it's completely the same game?
Yeah, it's basically
No
part...
new graphics, no new upgrades?
No, they basically, for the Nintendo Switch, they've launched a thing called the Arcade Archive series. Say that 5 times fast. And you can basically download the original arcade in its full form for your Nintendo Switch, which is pretty dope. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to buy it. I'm not sure, like, a modern generation of kids will, like, get the nostalgia value, but a lot of people in kind of my age group will probably be there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like, maybe I'd come around to yours to play it.
Just the Switch,
if
dude.
you had it.
The Switch is portable, man.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you could bring it over to mine. What I'm trying to say is probably not going to buy it.
Ah, but we could play it, right? When we turn off the camera, we could kill some time.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is being live streamed on our YouTube channel. So if you're enjoying what you're listening to and not watching us already, I'm waving at the camera. Subscribe to youtube.com/Esquire Middle East to hear more Man at His Best podcasts and much, much more.
So this game apparently has 3 versions.
Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
It's got many versions.
No, but it's this one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's got a Japanese version,
I'm in.
but then it's got the Japanese version with the bugs fixed. So this
I'm
is-
more in.
This is really true to the arcade.
Exactly.
And then there's the international version.
See, if you want a sweet nostalgia dip, you want to get the Japanese version with the bugs.
But that would be the same as like of us going, okay, here's the Esquire magazine. Here is the one with all the errors.
Yeah.
Then here is another one that is ready for press.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't publish our errors.
Well, exactly. This is why I find it quite funny. Is they're kind of releasing a game. Yes, it did come out, but then it had a load of bugs. They fixed it, and they've decided to re-release the broken one.
Yeah, fair. But don't you like that? Don't you miss that sense of beautiful, sweet,
What bad code?
bad coding? In fact, speaking of the coding, actually, the whole reason why this is it's a nostalgic news story throwback, but like the reason why this has actually never been released outside of the arcades, you've never been able to play it at home on your console in this form. Apparently, there was a lot of legal issue over who actually owned the code for the original Donkey Kong.
Well, it's from Nintendo, right?
Apparently there was problems with it, whether it was them or individual coders or third parties or something. So now that has been resolved, and now you can play old school Donkey Kong. You remember the one? It's like you're on snakes and ladders throwing barrels up.
Yeah. Or you could play as Donkey Kong in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Fair.
Because he's a character in that too. I believe also Diddy Kong is.
And just remember, kids, if you are, you make sure you have a lovely glass of Chinese milk.
Mengniu milk.
Mengniu milk.
Maybe perhaps warmed by your Gazprom cooker.
Fair. See, the added value that we are giving these World Cup sponsors, if they could just give us a small fraction of that sweet, sweet $6.1 billion.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you know.
0.1% I'd take.
The production value on this podcast would, I'd spend it all like recklessly on the production of this podcast.
You can brand this entire black back wall.
You want me to wear a suit made of milk? I'll do it.
Made of milk. All right, let's go into the outro of this then.
I don't think you ever need to say that, but go ahead.
So we do hope you enjoyed the Esquire Man at His Best podcast. Remember, we have new episodes coming out weekly on Apple iTunes, SoundCloud, Pocket Casts, and more, as well as hosting each individual show on our website, which is...
That's esquireme.com, Tom.
Oh, and please don't forget to check out our YouTube and social media accounts for more daily goings-on from Esquire Middle East, the largest men's luxury lifestyle title in the region, and maybe even the world.
Oh, it's definitely the best one. I'll give you that for nothing.
While this podcast was produced without any help from sponsors Mengniu, Wanda, or Gazprom, we do hope that will change, perhaps starting next week.
Yeah.
So see you then.
See ya.